Alright, so this is a very unique backpack, or a little bit more in line of a sack that you can put on your back. This is from a brand called, and I need to read this because I had French in school, but that is many years ago, plus I failed that class. So please excuse if I completely butcher the name. Vous pouvez dormir dans la grange. And I forgot what the translation was. I think it was something like sleep in the farmhouse or something like that. I forgot what the name actually is. So a very complicated name, but with a very unique design that will appeal to some people, but I can already anticipate that it won't appeal to many people on this YouTube channel. But without further ado, let's go into the review. Alright, so I was actually using this backpack now for a whole day on a small little trip with my wife to a shopping mall, and I loaded it up with a couple of items to give it some weight to kind of test out the usability and the shoulder straps if they would be comfortable, because in the beginning I was kind of thinking that these might dig a little bit too much into my shoulders. And while this bag wasn't as uncomfortable as I was anticipating, the shoulder straps still dig a little bit into your shoulders, and I was feeling some, like, not discomfort, but at some point my arms get this little tingly feeling when there's not enough blood circulation into your arms. And with that in mind, I probably will take a look at the comfortability of this bag when it's completely fully loaded with my work equipment when I'm walking around with this. So at the moment, just from first impressions, running around with this bag half fully loaded, yeah, it is comfortable, but not as comfortable as I was hoping. Furthermore, speaking of fully loading, there is no padded back panel, so the whole bag is kind of like flopping. It's basically like a empty sack that you put on your back. From a stylistic point, I kind of get where they're going with this, but in terms of comfort and in terms of usability, it's not that great. When you stand it down, obviously without any structure inside, it kind of folds into itself, it flops into itself. It's not as structurally rigid as you might know from other backpacks. Furthermore, inside this, let's call it somewhat a sack of a bag, it is very simplistic. You only have a laptop slot that is not padded at all, because obviously, as I said, there is no back panel, and then that laptop compartment is also not suspended. So besides the bag, when you put it on the ground kind of falling into itself, you also need to be careful to put it down on the ground, because there's no padding at all inside this bag. Again, it's basically like a sack that you put on your back. From a stylistic point, really cool. From a usability point, definitely not for everyone, and definitely not for me who carries a lot of equipment. I also brought my camera, the XM5, in addition to this Pocket 3, so I was always kind of careful when I put it on the ground. Furthermore, continuing with the layout inside, you have the laptop slot, you have two slots where you potentially can put smaller stuff inside, but those slots have no real ability to close. There are no zippers. There is a button that I found very cumbersome, so everything that you put inside those slots eventually just slide out, and everything kind of just accumulates in the main compartment, just like in a tote bag, in a sack or whatever, in a grocery sack. And therefore it's not that great in terms of organization. Basically everything will just rumble around at some point inside this bag, and I was kind of noticing that I had my wallet in here, it fell out, so I was kind of looking for my wallet inside behind all of the stuff that were, in air quotes, thrown around in there while I was walking. So in terms of organization, yeah, not great. But there is beauty and simplicity, right? If you like the simplicity, this bag might be for you. Alright, clothing is a part of traveling, especially those merino wool shirts that many backpack enthusiasts and travel enthusiasts share a lot. So clothing is important, of course, and in previous videos sometimes some of you were asking what I'm wearing. Furthermore, I'm really into fashion, so I thought, why not include some style check segments in my videos, or maybe, if you like this, later on some fully dedicated videos on clothing. So with that in mind, let's check out my style. But first, a couple of specs. I'm 170 centimeters tall, 64 kilos, and I would say an somewhat thin to athletic build or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the right description, but I'm a fairly short person. Now, the backpack you already have seen here in this review, so I'm not going to cover that. But let's go over the clothing, starting from the bottom. Those are Red Wings in size US 7. As for my pants, I'm wearing leathers with the size waist 31 and length 30. And I really like about these that they have this very straight cut with a little bit of a looser fit overall. Then my sweater is from Daily Paper. And weirdly enough, while I usually wear size M or size S because I like a loose fit, this is size XS, so that is a little bit weird. Not sure what that is all about. Then this coat is from a brand called Ichi. I usually prefer like 30 degrees. So I usually always have something like a jacket or a coat on when I'm at home, when it's getting a little bit chillier at night, or when I'm walking around. I really dig this coat at the moment. This is obviously a little bit longer. It goes to my knees. So this is not necessarily something that I would wear at home, but I really dig this coat because it has this, very warm and kind of wool feeling to the touch. Please excuse, I'm not 100% sure what all to cover in this type of video, so maybe I missed something that you would like to know. Then underneath, maybe also a good thing to cover is a watch, mechanical automatic watch from Vario. I really like this, and I kind of combined this green with the green of the jacket, and I also have some green socks from Happy Socks. I really dig these kind of colorful socks overall. In general, I prefer to have color on my body, what I'm wearing, because I feel like the world is already very dark and grim and everyone is wearing like black or gray clothing. So I do prefer wearing colorful clothing. So yeah, that's my style check. And again, please let me know, how do you like this kind of segment? And would you like to see some more clothing related videos or just segments? Again, I will also cover some travel related clothing in the future, but I kind of wanted to show you what I like to wear on a daily basis as well. Alright, this might not be the perfect positioning for my A-roll camera with the tube light here right on top. It might look a little bit weird, but yeah, let's just roll with it and go into what's inside this backpack. In the previous section, I was just walking around with my wife at the mall and then in another store, and to kind of test out the comfortability of that bag, I actually loaded it up with a couple of pouches, which one was the Evergoods Cap 2 liter, then this TomTalk case that I currently utilize for accessories that I need for this new drone, that is the Hover Air X1 Pro Max that I'm currently reviewing, and I really enjoy kind of having this new type of shots inside these videos. But that drone was inside this charging case. I loaded up this bag with these 3 pouches and then also these 2, to which I will get in a second, just to give you an idea what I packed inside this backpack in the previous segment. But now I will load it up with items for work because I want to simulate using this for work. Let's start with the most important thing, that is the laptop. And as you can see here, this interior is basically just one huge sack without any padding, without any suspension for the laptop compartment, without any zippers and stuff like that. So that to me is a huge negative or downside of this bag. This bag without the padding is obviously much lighter than any other bag, and yeah, in a way less obstructive because it's just fabric that keeps everything together, but nothing is protected, nothing is very well organized, and with items for work, especially if you use a laptop, and I wanted to pack my 15-inch laptop and not my 14-inch, just to give you a rough idea what you can pack inside. If you have fragile equipment with you, you kind of want it to be protected. I put it here into this laptop slot, and as previously mentioned, this is neither neither suspended, nor is there any padding, not even on the back panel. So in essence, if you pack a laptop inside, the laptop becomes like this rigid back panel of your backpack. You can kind of, in air quotes, organize this and close up this laptop slot with these small little buttons. But as you can see here, while this is okay to kind of keep that laptop slot and that laptop in place, it is kind of fiddly to use that buttons, and it doesn't really protect anything from sliding into that pocket and maybe scratching. Furthermore, I feel like these hard metal buttons, when you kind of slide the laptop in and out, they somewhat scratch against your laptop. I don't like that at all. So I definitely would have wished that A, this would have been suspended, B, that there was some form of padding, and C, there were some zippers or other ways to kind of close this pocket without the danger of scratching up your expensive MacBook Pro. Now, you also have two slots here to organize your smaller items from kind of falling out. However, as also previously mentioned, these only have buttons, no zippers, which means that if you have smaller items, especially here, there is a key leash that kind of lets you know, hey, you can store your key inside this pocket. But since this is at the top, if you maybe have to jog to your train or whatever, then your key will eventually just slide out of this pocket and then dangle here inside the main compartment. So anything small that you put into these slots will or can eventually just jump out and then slide inside this main compartment. So what I did is I took this track folding pouch, which is my extended EDC. I put it in this bottom pocket, and when I was walking around, I actually put my wallet in here, which, what I just told you, I experienced that my wallet was just falling out and then was just somewhere here in the main compartment. So not a great place to store stuff inside, and because this is the smaller one of these two, I really think this pocket is intended for small items like your wallet or your key. But as I said, without a zipper, stuff will just fall out, and therefore I did not really utilize this. And because there is nothing else inside this main compartment to organize your stuff, I basically just throw in all of these pouches. And that's basically why I'm a huge advocate of packing modular. For example, this cap 2 liters from Evergoods holds all of my work essentials like chargers, Logitech MX Master mouse, cables, SSDs and stuff like that. Without having a modular system with pouches, all of your items would just kind of be thrown around in this main compartment. Then I have my Bellroy Carryology pencil case, which is my boo-boo kit. By the way, if you also want to pack modular and you want to get any of these items that I mentioned in this video, all of these items are linked below. Those are affiliate links. With those you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale. And if you do so and support this channel, thank you very much. So this is the Bellroy pencil case, also just thrown in here, and you can already tell, and I sound like a broken record, this is just a huge sack to hold all of your items. And if you are not using pouches, everything will just kind of be mixed around in there and flop all over the place. So these would be my work essentials. Usually I also bring my mechanical keyboard, which is the knock-free split keyboard. I'm currently leaving that on my desk, but just to give you some more idea what you can all fit inside, I also put this TomTalk case inside here, and I also could fit this case for the Hover X1 drone. And you can see I can fit a bunch of items inside this main compartment. So that is a huge benefit for such a lightweight, and when it's empty, because there is no structure in it, it folds down into itself. So this is in essence a bag that you perceive fairly small and lightweight. You can fit a lot of items in here, but there is no structure in the bag. It kind of falls into itself. There is no padding. If you use equipment, you need pouches. You need stuff to kind of protect all of these items. And that to me is a huge downside. Now, I will take this on a walk with my dog to kind of test the comfortability when I would use this for work, but I don't take all of these pouches because when I'm going to work, I obviously don't take a drone and I don't need this TomTok pouch with all of the accessories for the drone. But I will now walk my dog with these items inside and then kind of vlog on that walk and tell you what the comfort level is with all of these work essentials like laptop, Evergoods Cap 2 and these 2 extra pouches. So I'm not 100% sure if I mentioned this, but I'm currently working remotely. So I'm not going to an office, which is basically why I'm now carrying this backpack with all of my office equipment whilst walking my dog Woody. And we have been walking now for, I would say, about 20 minutes. And what I can tell you right away is, as I suspected and as I already have been experiencing with walking this backpack in a mall, it's not that comfortable. It's okay, but it's not that great, to be quite honest, compared to other backpacks. Also, because there is no back panel and no padding, I already can feel my MacBook Pro kind of digging in my lower back because, as I said, there is no padding to kind of protect that laptop, and basically it doesn't protect you from the hard laptop digging into your lower back. That's not that great. I'm walking and I feel like it is okay to carry around, but again, compared to other backpacks that have a back panel that are a little bit padded, it just doesn't feel that comfortable. The shoulder straps, while they don't really dig into my shoulders yet, I feel like they could be a little bit more padded and therefore a little bit more comfortable to carry around. So bottom line, I kind of anticipated that this backpack would not be that comfortable. And now I can kind of confirm also, if you carry some work related items that might be a little bit heavier or a laptop, it's not that comfortable either. I feel like from a design point, I do get where the brand was coming from and what they kind of wanted to achieve. So something that looks a little bit different, maybe in line of being something timeless and classy and, yeah, let's say French in a way. I think they kind of succeeded with that, but in terms of features and comfort, yeah, not so much. Alright, so Woody and I just got back from our walk and now let's talk about my verdict about this bag, which I always have to read the name because it's so difficult. Vous pouvez dormir dans la grange. This is a very difficult bag to review because, you know the saying, different horses for different courses, right? I feel like this bag is not for me. And I also don't feel like this bag is for most of you who are watching videos on my channel because there are so many things that they left out, and I feel like they left it out intentionally. So I don't want to say that that is a negative. I want to say that that is a trade-off that you need to keep in mind because you bought this. For example, if you buy a Lamborghini and you want to drive on a gravel road or whatever, you could say the Lamborghini is a great car, but for your case, it's terrible, right? And I feel like that's the same with this bag. This bag to me is something that looks classy, that looks timeless for someone who, yeah, is really in the market for something that looks classy, maybe fits a suit or a very classy French outfit or whatever. And with that in mind, I feel like that could be a perfect bag. And while I have no idea if that is the case, I do feel like that a person that carries a classy bag that looks very fitting to their suit or their fancy outfit, probably that person is not carrying like an Evergoods Cap 2 liter with a lot of tech gear. That person maybe carries an iPad Pro, maybe a small laptop, and potentially has the funds to not, in air quotes, care if that laptop bumps on the ground, and not all of your items inside are very well protected. That being said, for all of us who want to carry a lot of gear like I do, with an expensive laptop, with my Cap 2 liters that has a lot of gear in it, maybe a camera like my XM5, this bag is not for me because nothing is padded. Everything that is inside, if I drop this bag to the ground, will hit the full force of the floor that it is falling towards. So not for me. Next up, because there is no padding, as I just previously mentioned while walking Woody. This bottom part where the laptop is, because there is no padding, because there is no back panel, that was digging into my lower back. It's not uncomfortable. I feel like it's okay, but if you would walk like 1 hour, we walked 45 minutes now. It's annoying, and if I would have walked longer, I probably would have felt a little bit of soreness here in the back, but your mileage might vary depending on what your build is and how fit you are and whatnot. So yeah, it's not great. And all of the compartments inside, the laptop slot has this small little metal buttons. They kinda can scratch on your MacBook Pro, so that is definitely something to keep in mind. All of these slots have nothing to keep the item inside. If they are small, they will kinda slide out of one of the sides of these compartments. So yeah, I would have wished some zippers, but then again, that would have destroyed the design philosophy of that bag. So again, very difficult bag for me to review because I just know I'm not a target demographic. However, I feel like they have achieved what they were going for. I don't know anything about design and I don't know if that was their intention, but they created something unique and I can see the beauty of this bag. My wife also, who is very fashion interested, thought this bag was beautiful and she really liked the design, and I can totally acknowledge that this is a beautiful and unique looking and, dare I say, timeless, classy design. And I can totally see that people will kind of gravitate to this bag. The build quality, I mean, it's just canvas and very high quality zippers that are from a brand that I just don't know, but they do feel high quality. This top handle with this leather application is great. Overall, the stitching and everything feels high quality and durable. But again, it doesn't protect anything that is inside. It's just a huge sack that you kind of throw in all of your stuff and then put on your back. Yeah. Again, not for me. Definitely not for me. And I would argue, probably if you are subscribed to this channel and watching my videos and are interested in Evergoods and Air, Able Carry, no, this is not for you. However, if you are interested in fashion and you want something that looks nice, by the way, what did you think about this new segment that I want to implement into this video, this style of the week or style of the month kind of fashion thing? Did you like that? Please let me know in the comment section below, because I do want to make more videos about the clothing that I wear just because I'm interested in that. And I've seen some people asking, hey, where's that sweater from and stuff like that. Please let me know, how do you like these fashion segments? And I will obviously also make some clothing related segments in my video that are more in line of traveling. For example, I will review a t-shirt that is made out of bamboo, which will be a really good competitor to merino wool. That will be in a future video. Do you like these fashion clothing kind of segments or maybe also videos? Let me know in the comment section below. And again, if you're looking for something that is a little bit more fashionable, this might be for you. Everyone else, probably not. Still, if you consider getting one of these bags, links down below. And if you would like to check out the bag that is more appropriate to my daily life, because I carry around a lot of equipment, check out the video up here. And YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. I see you in the next video. Thank you very much.